Ferris State dominates in the 65-14 win over Northwood. I was completely wrong with my prediction. I had Northwood winning this game. I was very, very inaccurate with that. I also did talk about prior to the season, just a lot of this game leading up to it, that if Ferris State won this game, that they would be my favorite. And this is a Ferris State team that if they play like this, there's going to be no team that's going to be remotely competitive against Ferris State because this offense, especially offensive line, just lines in general, if you want to talk about a team that completely dominated the line of scrimmage and one that truly just got going from the get-go, it was Ferris State in this game. Ferris State had almost 600 yards of offense, and 432 of those yards were on the ground. Ferris State was able to do anything and everything they wanted to do. They were able to get going on the ground pretty early. They also did get a pretty big rushing touchdown from Chase Carter to go up 21-7 at that point. But then it really seemed like it was just the ground game whenever that Ferris State needed to get a really big play. It was either 3, 4, 5, 6 yards at a time. This offensive line just continues to be a threat, a weapon for this Ferris State team. And it really was not only in between the guards and tackles, it was really Ferris State running those jet sweeps that they love to run. And we've seen Ferris State do it over and over and over and over again. And you have to give Chase Carter a ton of credit in this game as well. I thought he had really, really good reads when it came to that. And he had another 40-yard touchdown run later on in this game as well. He's a guy that if he gets in the open field, he is really, really tough to tackle. And even if he's in the open field, like you have to outrun him. And he has track speed. He's a track runner at Ferris. He's one of the fastest in the GLIAC. You saw that in this game. He outran several safeties. He outran the secondary several different times in this game. But it wasn't only the big plays that Ferris State got that truly was the difference in this game. It was Ferris State just overall. This was a team that was on a mission, and this is a team that's fully on the right track to winning another national championship. This is a team that is just so physical. This is a team that just grinds you down, that win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And when you do that, it is really difficult to beat you. Like Northwood, they were in this game a little bit. It was 7-14 at one point. Ferris State went down and ended up putting up another touchdown. Northwood ended up getting the ball back. Ethan Hamby ends up throwing his first interception of the year, which was a pick six, which was a great play by the Ferris State player to really put this game to bed. Like, it really never truly got closer than that. Ferris State just was making Ethan Hamby, Paul Seeley kind of run for the life back there. Northwood wasn't able to get really anything going on the ground. This was a Northwood team that only had about 260 yards of offense in this game comparatively to almost 600 yards of offense. When that happens, you're obviously not going to win the game, especially when you have a Ferris State team that forced a few turnovers. Ethan Hamby, 2 straight drives, pick six, and then a fumble. Now, Ferris State wasn't perfect in this game. They had an interception by Chase Carter, which if you look at Brady Rose on that play, he was wide open. But guess what? When that happens and you're up by that much and the defense is getting in the backfield, the defense is flying around, Northwood's not be able to do very much in the pass game and the run game. It's not really going to truly matter. Now, obviously, when you get further in the playoffs, it's going to matter. But again, when you play this well, when you play this physical, when you win the line of scrimmages on both sides of the ball, you're going to win like 90% of the games just in general. And then when you talk about talent, just this Ferris State team just has so much talent. I mentioned Brady Rose. I mentioned Chase Carter. This was a Ferris State team that ended up putting in a lot of backups, third strings guys in at the end of the game, getting guys to play. Tariq Brett was the guy that was really involved. Carson Gulker was a huge part of this offense, especially early on. There was a few times where he actually took the snap at quarterback, which obviously he was the quarterback last year. He's been more of the H-back this year. He's been great this year. But Carson Gulkers are very difficult to stop. He's been a big guy, not only running the ball, but catching the ball as well. I actually scored the first touchdown of the game. But just a really, really good performance from Ferris State. And this is the Ferris State team that I thought we would get throughout the season. This is the Ferris State team that I see as a national championship favorite by a lot. This is a Ferris State team that if they continue this direction, they're going to win the rest of their games, and it might not even be remotely competitive, in my opinion. I do want to talk a little bit about Northwood before we kind of wrap this up, because obviously Northwood ended up losing this game. Wasn't really competitive, sadly. But Northwood had a great year. And I want to give, obviously, Northwood a ton of credit for the year that they had. They had several playmakers on that team that had great seasons. This whole team had a great season. This was a great step for Northwood. And I think under Coach B, I think this will be a program that will continue to get better. I think this is a program that is on the rise. I think this is a program that truly is starting to gain traction. And it was a lot of fun talking about this Northwood team. It was a lot of fun watching this Northwood team. This wasn't their best performance, to be completely honest with you. This wasn't the way I think Northwood wanted it to end. This wasn't the way I thought it was going to end, to be completely honest with you. I thought it would be a little bit more competitive than it actually was. But I think Northwood will be back. I think Northwood will be fine. I truly trust this coaching staff. They're obviously losing a couple key pieces, especially defensively with Cole Simpson. He won't be back. Sucks because I really enjoyed watching him play. I think he's a baller. Joe Lathers will probably be back. But also, you don't necessarily know because there's this thing called the transfer portal. And things can change. And overall, I thought it was a really great year. I thought that Northwood performed very well throughout the majority of the season, and it just sucks that this is the way it had to end. But they ran into an absolute buzzsaw in Ferris State. This is a Ferris State team that, even when they did struggle throughout the regular season, they were able to find ways to win. And this is a Ferris State team that finds ways to win. This is a Ferris State team that when it comes into the playoffs, they just turn on. And they absolutely did in this game, and they absolutely deserve credit for that, and they absolutely deserve to win this game. And this is a Ferris State team going up against an Ashland team. I think Ashland will have to be very well prepared because this is a Ferris State team that does not lose at home very much at all. This is a Ferris State team that is on a mission. And this is a Ferris State team that if you don't come ready to play, if you're not very physical when it comes to the line of scrimmage, they will take advantage of you. And that's exactly what happened in this game. So congrats to Ferris State on the win, an absolute dominant win. Congrats to Northwood on a great season. Ferris State now goes on to the next round. I obviously talk about their matchup against Ashland later this week. That'll be a fun matchup. I obviously am going to have Ferris State end up getting that win because when you have kind of the playmakers, when you have this offense, defensive line, when you just have this team overall, the amount of talent, the amount of physicalness, the amount of coaching that they have, it's truly hard to pick against this team, and I don't think I'll pick against this team ever again. I didn't think I ever would, to be completely honest with you. But great win for Ferris. They move on. Again, great season for Northwood as well. You guys should be proud of what happened. But yeah, if you enjoyed this content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that as well. And I will talk a little bit more about Ferris this upcoming week.